welcome back. Happy week 4. Happy blue moon. And I don't know, I feel like this chapter this week is perfect for this blue moon. If you're not into moons or you don't, today is, the moon's not actually going to be blue, but the reason they call it a blue moon is because it's the second blue moon in a full month. And that's pretty rare that happens. So, that's the phrase once in a blue moon or whatever. Literally, the last time I think this happened was about, 2-3 years ago. So happy once in a blue moon. With this blue moon, also, I read somewhere that is asked, because it's so out of the norm, out of the usual, that a good way to amplify your energy, your ambitions, the things that you want, is to do things a little bit out of the ordinary today. So, I usually get a vanilla iced coffee. I got a caramel iced coffee. Didn't really care for it. But, why not? Just to shake things up, to show the universe that you're you kind of messing with the emotion right now. So you're you know what? Let's feed into this really powerful moon with this week's chapter. And it's so fun because it's two of my favorite topics that I promise I could run campaigns on if there was a way to do so. But first, she talks about Miss Cameron. This week, she's getting you to be honest with your emotions and your wants. I think as a creative, until you can address and know exactly what you want, you can't really, or at least, she words it really nicely. But before you could express yourself, you need to figure out what yourself wants, what you want, what you are, what you're about. And then once you kind of see or go through the self-identifying process, then you're able to start kind of cooking and be like, okay, how do I get this inward inward emotion, feelings, and make it into expression? So she talks about the word or the phrase I feel okay. And when we're coworkers, you're out in public grocery shopping, it's so easy. It's so easy to be someone asks, how are you? Oh, I'm good. I'm okay. I'm fine. But it leaves a real vagueness. We put a vagueness over ourselves with that over time. And I think it's because of this chapter exactly that I kind of got out of said habit, because if especially if you're not okay, especially if things aren't good and you just kind of gloss over oh, things are good, everything's okay, whatever, and it's something else, you're never really addressing how you're feeling. And I think that as an artist, to be able to pinpoint your emotions, that is going to be absolutely key in your journey. So she talks about the morning pages, funny enough, which I've been kind of slacking. I don't want to say slacking. Some of the morning pages become night pages, whatever. But once again, I preach my ass off about this, and she says it here again, all the answers that you need, you're going to literally write them out. Hold on, I want to make sure I'm skipping ahead. I'm so excited. Morning pages help you. Yep. Oh, sorry. Rewind. The morning pages, yes, they help you sort out what she calls your real emotions and your official emotions. So the real emotions are the ones, that's legit how you feel. And the official emotions are the ones that we put out and make for public display. So basically, I'm good, I'm fine, I'm okay. But that's not the real emotion. So with the morning pages, she kind of helps you, she's preaches it's going to help you decipher between the two. And then what happens with your pages, because like I said, they're going to teach, you're literally going to write out everything that you're trying to figure out. But with that, it gets to a point where, how do I explain it? Because for some people, it sucks. But for me, it's exactly the information I need to light a fire under my ass. So, okay, let me rewind. So with the journaling, she says you're going to get to a point where you're going to start uncovering some emotions. You're going to start uncovering some thoughts that you did not want to. You might even lie in your journal. And trust me, in my very first one, I was, it's weird because it's for you and it should stay for you. You shouldn't let anybody read your morning pages, by the way. But it's funny how we like to lie to ourselves in our notebook. And she's asked, and with the morning pages, you're going to get to a point where you cannot deny something longer, especially if it's something that is holding you back, something that is just weighing on you that you know needs to change. You're basically gonna write it out. you're gonna be like, I can't stay with this person, I can't stay at this job, I cannot do, like, and what she there's a Sanskrit word that she has in here, what kind of describes this moment where well, actually this is before the Sanskrit, this is before the kriya, that's the word, a kriya. So a kriya is a word meaning a spiritual emergency or surrender. So why I like these, and I don't think, I mean, there's been a couple times where, you know, I let things get to a point where I have to hit the kriya. I had to hit the kriya, and the kriya is basically telling you, like, don't you see? Don't you get it now? Like, it's when things, like, you kind of, it gets to a point where it's just so in your face you can't deny it, you know? And I think oftentimes, well, what examples of cries that she describes are like, you know, getting a cold when you have a really weird feeling about a lover or a friend, you know. What is she has here? I'm gonna just read her examples because I love her words. So we all know what a cry looks like. It is a bad case of the flu right after you've broken up with your lover. It's a rotten head cold and a bronchial cough that announces you've abused your health to meet an unreachable work deadline. That asthma attack out of nowhere when you just done a round of caretaking for your alcoholic sibling. That's a crya too. Always significant, frequently psychosomatic. Cryas are the final result of our psyche, adds to our injuries. Get it? A crya asks you, you know, get it? Like, you can't stay with this abusive lover. You can't work at a job that demands 80 hours. You can't rescue a brother who needs to save himself. So these are all events, like, your body will tell you. Your body will let you know if you don't make the change yourself. There's just things like we put up with and we settle for. And especially if we know that that change needs to happen, a cryo will come. It will come, and it's gonna, like, let you know, like, okay, we trying to fix this or not? And if not, then, you know, pattern continues, cries continue. That's not what we want. What I found has worked for me is that instead of getting to this absolute, like, boiling point, the crya, like, the event that happens to tell you this is what it is, it's like right underneath it. So, but the only thing is that you have to have desire, have want, have, like, know your boundaries, your, like, you have to go through this self-identifying process. And then instead of letting the cry hit you, you get to a point just before the cry where it pisses you off, where the, like, you know, shit needs to change. And it gets to a point where instead of, like, having a cry hit, you get to a point where you get fed up first. I'm telling you, the way when you're able to see some bull and decide and put your foot down and be like, I'm not, or something needs to change, that moment, that fuel, ride it. And that is where creation comes in. That is where art comes in. That's where expression comes in. That is you standing on you and being like, does this version of me now, like, do they put up with this? Hell no. So I think that's a really fun way to transmute emotions and things like that. So, but I mean, it is, as you, like, go through your journaling and you're writing out your boundaries, you're writing out your wants, you're writing out things that don't work no more and things like that. Like, you're gonna get to a point where you're like, damn, I need a whole new identity. Like, you're gonna go Hannah Montana in a way, like, because it's like either you're okay with the bull and then you keep writing the same. That's another good telltale sign. Oh my gosh, if I could tell you how many pages some guys got in here, but then after a while, once, like, the final cry hits that one line where I'm just like, oh shit, he gotta go, ain't right about him no more. So that's what I'm saying. Like this version, this person that you want, this life, this routine, this way, this, it's like either, okay, you get this clarity and you continue writing about it, the conditions that you're in, or you're writing a new route, and you write, and like it's fun, it's exciting, it's frustrating, it's like realizing that you've been disrespected, your boundaries been disrespected in the past. Like it brings a whole, it crushes a world to help you develop a new one. And some people don't want to develop a new world, and that's kind of where, you know, they placate. And I don't, there's not really much you could do with that. But if you are presented with this information and there are things that you know must change, and you want to change them, and you finna change them, and you're working to change them, ride all the emotions, ride every single emotion, and you will come up with your best work. Trust the way music artists, you know, we love them heartbroken, because, you know, that's when they give their best shit. I can't lie, I'm my best. I'm at my peak when I, you know, been done a little dirty. It adds to the grit, you know. Don't let your circumstances make you flip that hoe, flip it on its head, and have a good time doing it. So that's the first topic. Getting real about your wants and your desires, because then you start to also feel the need to clean. You're like, with this new identity, you know, sometimes certain clothes that you've been wearing that you hate, all of a sudden are now, you know, have found their way to a donation bin. How, you know, your taste, you're finding shifts in your, we're trying to read it. So right at the same time. But basically she talks about cleaning, you know, and it's like sometimes like with an identity, like there's a lot of things around you that also needs to be shedded and also needs to go. So then that's also a big purging, and that's also a lot of emotion. So like I said, I really want you to enjoy this period. I don't know, something about shedding, like seeing, like to me it's kind of like a bonsai tree, and like you kind of catch like a, you know, the dead leaves that pop up here and there, and like I'm like whatever to do, you know, like yes there'll be like holes like where the leaves got cut off or whatever, but I mean like you're making room for the new blooms. It's always just a sweeping out of the soul, I promise, and you're in the more, and it leaves you welcoming more new, more of the next. Look for it. Okay. So after she adds a nice little interjection here. Buried dreams and exercise. So after, you know, you have, you know, been going through this self-identifying process and time with your prompts and your journaling, and you're realizing things and things like that. I like this exercise because now it's showing like, okay, so you know who you are, you know how you're learning how you feel. So what sounds like fun? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? Damn it. And for the longest, I could not name what was fun for me. I couldn't, I'm trapped. Couldn't name what's fun for me. Couldn't name my feelings. So with this, you're really talking to your inner kid here. So four different lists you're gonna make. So the first one, you're gonna list 5 hobbies that sound fun. Second list, you're gonna list 5 classes that sound fun. 3, you're gonna list 5 things you personally would never do that sound fun. And 4, list 5 skills that would be fun to have. There's something on your heart. These are perfect questions to really get a taste of what's on your heart, what's on your mind. I won't lie. Well, okay, let's not to say you're going to, you know, take up all 20 of these and, you know, add these to your routine, but I think it's a good indicator of what you like. Like it's a good indicator of what you like, and maybe something that you should be pursuing. maybe something, there's something there. There's something there. But yeah. Okay, my 5 hobbies that sound fun were bread making, which I did, Tai Chi, which I did, and couponing, did not do. DJing, I did want to learn how to DJ, but like getting a whole like turntable, that was a little difficult. And then hosting themed dinner parties. So, okay, I would say things have remained the same in that regard. But in terms of like, it was one where I was like, I didn't do any of this, John. Oh, I'm sorry, there's a 5th list. Oh, there's 2 more lists. Number 5, your 5th list. List 5 things you used to enjoy doing. That's a really good one. And then number 6 is list 5 silly things you would like to try once. So those last 2, yeah. So just because, let's see. Okay, so my 5 things that I used to enjoy doing were painting, making homemade gifts, skateboarding, playing soccer, and buying new stationery. And I think I literally did all of these within the past month, besides playing soccer. So, you know, a year's time later, like, I think it's neat to see like what was on your heart then, and if it still applies later, even more of a sign. Yeah, no. So there's that. Next, she gets into my second favorite topic, which is getting offline and finding inspiration in your brain. But how she does it, because this book was, you know, back, every time this video comes up, I'm like, I'm gonna get you guys the year this, I'm gonna get you guys the year she published this. Because it's very significant, like how some of her exercises pre-social media, pre-internet are still applicable here. So, no, because she used to teach classes about, okay, I'm gonna say 1980s, 1990s, right? She assigns the exercise for the week. She assigns a section called reading deprivation, and like she talks about how she knows when she goes into the classroom, she's gonna drop this one, and people are gonna, like, she's the villain. Like, people are gonna be like, what do you mean no reading? And like, you know, like, she's gotten complaints, and like she acknowledges that. She's like, you know, people talk to me like I don't understand what a functioning fully grown adult does during the day. You know, but she's also said like the people who have taken this exercise the most seriously come back the most rewarded. And why no reading? Because I think when, gosh, and I love it because now in today you have to take it up a notch. Instead of reading deprivation, it needs to be full-on media deprivation. I think that is the best way, oh my gosh, to find some of the most original out of this world, abstract, like, where the hell did that come from? Like, I think for you to make anything, as much as I love Pinterest, I love, you know, Google, but the issue with all that is that those ideas are already made and they already exist. If you want to do something completely original, something no one's done before, you need to get rid of all the bull. You need to, get away from all the apps for, like a day, shit, a week, oh my gosh, a month. You imagine things you could do in a month. Now, goes to say, that's tough. I kind of really hate that we are the like, I love and I hate it at the same time, being the generation of electronics and social media because of accessibility, but then also at the same time, the convenience has really killed the originality. So I think, especially in today's time, this exercise alone is beautiful, gorgeous, and you will come up with your best shit. So, just a funny list that she put together because, like I said, she's had people kind of bitch at her. You know, they're like, what do you mean no reading for the week? This is how, what else? And they asked her, like, so what will we do? Here's what she said, here's what you'll do. Listen to music, make curtains, wash the dog, sort closets, pay bills, write old friends, report some plants. Maybe she meant repot. Mend, knit, cook, fix the bike, watercolor, rewire the lamp, paint the bedroom, rearrange the kitchen, work out, meditate, have friends to dinner, get the stereo working, sort bookshelves, a dangerous one, go dancing. Literally any form of creativity that just is just you and your hands, you and your feet, you and you. She's like, gosh, like I love it. I promise I love it, because I think also with the Artist Way last year, that's when I think I went offline, went off Instagram for like a month. But in that time, I found out I have so many hobbies. I have so many untapped skills and things I want to learn. And it's May now, and it's crazy how much you could fill a day. You could fill a day when it's not consumed by my damn phone. Oh my gosh. And that's another thing that I kind of really hate, is that imagine all the things, like, and I don't even know how, like with maybe technology just minus social media, like the things we could create, you know, if we did not have doom scrolling. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Time affluence. I'm really big on that, and I really love, I'm making something about with that. But in terms of time affluence, sorry, so really hard detour real quick. So there was a study about people who value like time over money, money over time, whatever. And yes, you know, financially, people who value money more have, you know, tend to have more money, but they get home and their time broke, and that has significant effects on you long term, when you feel like you're just constantly grasping for time and shit like that. People who were time affluent, who had more free time, tend to be the happiest. Money, happiness. So I'm in the process of trying to, like, you know, bridge the two, and it's like, how can we get back to a space where we are using our time for things that we enjoy, but then also at the same time to build things that we want, you know, and then be rich in that regard. So stick with me. I mean, we're gonna cook on that later on down the road, but like I said, pretty brief chapter, but it hits like all the right notes. Like, as an artist, you need to know what you want. As an artist, you need to know your boundaries. As an artist, you need to figure out how you feel, so then you could figure out how to get that on a canvas, get that on a song, get that on, so then you could convey to others how you feel, and then help them put words to what they're trying to, you know, put to, like, I think that was like the best compliment I think I received last year, was that through my Substack. I can't remember which article it was, but someone was like, thank you for putting together the words I didn't have for this exact feeling. And I'm like, so like I said, you need to get in that journal. You need to go talk to yourself. You need to go write your way out. You gotta write your way out on some real Hamilton type shit. And it's crazy. Oh my God, like I said, like, I'm so passionate about, especially if you, I think I love it a lot because, no, especially if you struggle with identity, if you get stuck often, if you just don't know, if you just don't fucking know, sit on the page, rest on the book, and then let it kind of, and then boy, you'll know. I guarantee you me. I preach it so much because it's such a powerful exercise, and I feel like that is going to help you bridge a lot of things. That's all I'm gonna say. It's gonna help you bring a lot of things into fruition. It's gonna let you bring a lot of things to an end. And it's going to help you get out of your way. It's going to address the bull, let you know if you want to address the bull, if you want to keep lying in your journal, what's gonna help you, you know, my phone overheated. But I think that means it is a good place to stop. I said all I had to say. Basically, get out of your head, get it on paper. Stop being vague about how you're feeling. Once you're not, use that make the art. And then to make the art, get offline. Get offline, find inspiration in the mundane, in outside, in a walk, in a trip, and just not on that. Feel me? Feel me? And then let me know what you come up with. Have a oh, and then also with the, I don't know if I mentioned this already, but with is the blue full moon, any full moon, like I said, purging, you're getting rid of things. List things that you want to change. List things that are no longer serving you. Put on a bay leaf, burn that shit. Let it, let it be. Put it to rest. And then tomorrow, think of who all you want to be, how you want to feel, where you want to live. Yeah. I'm gonna keep it at that. Keep it at that. There's nothing else more to say. There's nothing more to say. Enjoy your week. Have fun. Stay safe. Stay cool. Taut. And I will see you in the next one.